Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. It's such a great pleasure to see everyone here. It's such a joy to see that people are coming. It's every 2 years, we're trying to put this event together with all the houses, the Spiritist centers in Toronto and along the way of the other cities as well. And this year, it's such amazing that we are 6 houses, Spiritist centers together. By the way, I'm sorry. My name is Rosângela Rodrigues, coordinator of the Toronto Spiritist Weekend. And as being the coordinator, of course, we are having a team together. And these workers, very hard workers, André Oliveira, Cristiane Soares, Lucas Brasil, Fernanda Mota, Luciana Magnavita, Paulo Casado, Teresa Tuxen, and Valéria Fraga. We thank you very much for being here with us, and we hope that you have a great time. Which this great time means a lot of learning, and the learning is always about ourselves, right? Everything that we learn in the spirit centers or that comes from the Spiritist is all about ourselves, how we can be better in every day or in every breath we take. So to start our day, I would like to call Teresa Tuxen, who will be our host for today. Teresa is a hospital physiotherapist here in Canada. As a Toronto Spiritist Society worker, her responsibilities include public lectures, studying and practicing mediumship. Also, she's a coordinator in other activities in that house. She coordinates the study of the Spiritist book for 10 years, and she is the vice president of Fraternity Without Borders in Canada and coordinator of the Butterfly Garden Project with the Fraternal Without Borders. So welcome, Teresa.
This is good?
Yeah. Have fun.
I will try. Thank you, Rosângela. Welcome, everyone. In the name of our Joanna de Angelis Spiritist Study Group, Allan Kardec Spiritist Center of London, Grupo de Estudos Espíritas Paulo de Tarso, or Paulo de Tarso Spiritist Study Group from Cambridge, from Home of Dulce Spiritist Center in Oakville, Rest on the Way Spiritist Center in Toronto, Toronto Spiritist Society in Toronto. We thank you very much, all of you, for being here. Before we start this event, we're gonna start with a little bit of housekeeping. So first thing, we'd like to ask everybody to put your cell phones to vibrate, to put your cell phones in silence. Thank you. So we always start our meetings with a prayer. So at this moment, I would like to invite you all to come along with us as you wish. For initial prayer, we're inviting Andrea Faria from Grupo de Estudos Espíritas Paulo de Tarso, where she's a speaker and study coordinator. Welcome, Andrea.
Para aqui todos, esse final de semana abençoado, temos esse momento tão especial para... Sorry, me. Thank you. Esse momento tão especial para refletirmos, receber todo esse alimento espiritual para ampliarmos consciência. Então, nesse momento, convido a todos para a gente fazer uma prece, para quem quiser fechar os olhos, elevar o nosso pensamento ao nosso Pai Maior, ao nosso Mestre Jesus e agradecer essa oportunidade bendita de estarmos juntos aqui no Canadá, levando um pouco mais do Evangelho às pessoas, principalmente nesse dia de São Francisco de Assis, e que possamos ser o instrumento da vossa paz, levando todo esse amor, primeiramente para a gente e para todos que a gente tenha relação, tenha envolvimento, que todos esses ensinamentos desse final de semana, unindo espiritismo e ciência, que possa nos ajudar a sermos seres humanos melhores. Então, já aproveitando que estamos no dia de São Francisco de Assis, faço a prece da paz para a gente iniciar com muito amor e que essa prece nos inspire a ser realmente instrumentos da paz. Senhor, fazei-me instrumento da vossa paz. Onde houver ódio, que eu leve o amor. Onde houver ofensa, que eu leve o perdão. Onde houver discórdia, que eu leve a união. Onde houver a dúvida, que eu leve a fé. Onde houver o erro, que eu leve a verdade. Onde houver desespero, que eu leve a esperança. Onde houver a tristeza, que eu leve a alegria. Onde houver trevas, que eu leve a luz. Ó Mestre, fazei que eu procure mais consolar que ser consolado, compreender que ser compreendido, amar que ser amado, pois é dando que se recebe, é perdoando que se é perdoado, e é morrendo que se vive para a vida eterna. Amém. Que assim seja. Que esse evento seja abençoado, maravilhoso a todos, que possamos abrir nossas mentes e nosso coração para receber todas essas informações benditas. Que a espiritualidade amiga também inspire a todos aqueles que estarão com a gente trazendo esse alimento espiritual que tanto precisamos para relembrarmos que somos espíritos vivendo uma experiência material e não o contrário. Muito obrigada ao Pai e que tenhamos um evento maravilhoso. Obrigado pela presença de todos. Sejam muito bem-vindos a esse dia fantástico.
So thank you very much, Andrea, for this beautiful prayer. It definitely brought us some peace, serenity, and love to our spirits, so we can start now this beautiful event today. So 20 years passed by when the following idea arose: a large gathering of hearts and minds that aspires to understand who we are, where we come from, where we are going, and what exactly is our purpose here. Those are fundamental questions that we must ask ourselves every day. The answers we find helps on our spiritual evolution. In 2025, the 10th Toronto Spiritist Weekend is a celebration of this great idea, where here we have the opportunity to build new meaningful relationships and strengthen the ones we already have. Thank you for the ones that come to the TSW every meeting that we have, but also to the new ones. People who are here at TSW for the first time. So thank you for the presence of all of you. It has been worthy every minute spent organizing this event. It brings a great sense of accomplishment seeing you all here with us. Toronto Spiritist Weekend mission and objectives are dedicated to present the latest research and topics studied by Spiritists, including concepts and practice, addressing as well the scientific aspects with absolute fidelity from the higher spirits teachings. United the Spiritist centers in the GTA, or the Greater Toronto Area, and series nearby, having the goal to bring Jesus teaching all of us. The themes are always relevant to actual community experience, coming handy to promote and develop humanitarian activities. Bring the ones that love Spiritism, philosophy together to build a strong and meaningful relationships. So for more information about our TSW, you can always go to our website, which is www.tsweekend.ca. So there you're going to be, and it's all year round, it's always there. Come and take, you can look at our previous events, have more information, okay? So this year, our 10th Toronto Spiritist Weekend brings us a theme, Spiritism and Science. How are they connected? Spiritism is defined as a science of observation that studies the origin, nature, and destiny of spirits and their relationships with the physical world. Science and Spiritism are not opposed, but rather complement each other. While science explores the laws of matter, Spiritism studies the spiritual world, and as physics advances, it approaches concepts that validate the existence of non-material dimensions. The Spiritist method is based on the careful observation of physics and mediumistic phenomena, seeking to explain the laws that govern the life and existence of spirits. The object of study of Spiritism science is the immortal human being, that is, the spirit and everything related to it, such as it is relations with the spiritual world and the physical world. The Spiritist doctrine does not fear science, as it understands that scientific discoveries, as they advance, tend to confirm Spiritist principles, such as the existence of a spiritual reality. Allan Kardec educated us that Spiritism is simultaneously a science, a philosophy, and a religion, where the scientific aspect studies the mechanisms of life and the relationships between worlds. We invite everyone to keep your mind and heart open for the information we will receive from our today's speakers. Today, we will have a different format. Our speakers will deliver the information, and the public questions will be answered at the end of all 4 lectures. And here's our schedule for today. To start our afternoon in a very good mood, let's invite the Allan Kardec Spiritist Center of London Choir to lift our spirits and bring harmony to all of us. We wanted to thank Cássio Silva, Lana Janota, Lucas Brasil, Célia Machado, Lara Liboni, Mônica Malta, Luísa Liboni, Luciana Allers, Mark Allers, Gustavo Araldi, Ana Joliffe, Angela Ochoa e Andressa Rusk. Gold.
Isso, onde você... Não, ela. Porque senão vai ficar cheque, 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 cheque. Tinha que ser em lá, né?
Melhor aqui, ó. Pega a
Bota onde? Não quero botar só no meu nome, não.
Azul.
Ok?
sonda, me conta do reino que espera por mim.
Eu te ofereço meu pranto, as dores da alma que quer renascer.
Eu ouvi tua voz, teu falar me encantou, que segui caminhar e saber pra onde vou. Eis-me aqui, minha dor serenou.
There is a feeling around me I can't describe, it is all new to me. Oh Lord, my heart is reviving. A feeling of hope is invading my soul.
I want to be gentle, be pure, be fair, and a humble kind of a man. Jesus, your loving words reach me, telling of a kingdom that waits for me.
I offer you all my tears and veins of a soul that wants to be reborn.
I have heard your voice, your words amaze me. Want to follow your steps, want to know where I go. Here I am, my soul is relieved. Eu ouvi tua voz, teu falar me encantou, que segui caminhar, que saber pra onde vou. Eis-me aqui, minha dor serenou. alcançar todas as estrelas, estendi os braços, os pés presos ao chão. Sim, eu quis saber todos os mistérios, passado e futuro, busquei sem o presente. Se não pude alçar logo as estrelas aqui do chão, eu colhi lindas flores, posso amparar, perdoar e amar, me aproximar, degrau de cada dia. Sim, quis tudo ser, quis mudar o mundo, muito busquei, e não pude ter tudo, não desvendei tudo que eu queria e aprendi, e vivendo agora, vou me aproximar do essencial, descobrindo a grandeza da vida, vejo a luz em mim, posso então olhar as estrelas, ver verdades que estão aqui, bem perto de nós, bem no coração, estão em mim e em você, bem perto de nós, bem no coração, estão em nossas mãos, bem perto de nós, bem no coração, estão em mim e em você, bem perto de nós, bem no coração, busco bem de em paz viver. Oh, 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 na, 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 sim, quis tudo ser, quis mudar o mundo, muito gostei, e não pude ter tudo, não desvendei tudo que eu queria e aprendi, e vivendo agora, vou me aproximar do essencial, descobrindo a grandeza da vida, vejo a luz em mim, posso então olhar as estrelas, ver verdades que estão aqui, bem perto de nós, bem no coração, estão em mim e em você, bem perto de nós, bem no coração, estão em nossas mãos, bem perto de nós, bem no coração, estão em mim e em você, bem perto de nós, bem no coração, busco bem de em paz viver. Oh, 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 na, 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 bem de em paz viver.
Onde está o microfone? É só colocar aqui na caixa. Acho que é assim. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you very much for this beautiful moment. of relaxation and preparing, this environment for this great thing that we're gonna have today. So that we're gonna have today, tomorrow, and this is helping us to kind of connect and be prepared spiritually and create this beautiful energy here in this environment. So thank you very much. This is really beautiful. So yes, our speakers are here. I see them around. Yeah, Monica was just here and she's over there as well. And so we are ready to let them inspire us, okay? So today we're gonna start with our TSW Kids. And what is the TSW Kids? So this is a space where we bring a topic relevant particularly to kids, youth, and family members within the central theme of the current year's TSW Symposium, okay? So our first lecture is with Monica Malta. Dr. Monica Malta is a PhD health researcher, assistant professor at York University and a Western University, social epidemiologist, if it's right, and human rights activist dedicated to addressing the impact of gender-based violence and discrimination against LGBTQ plus communities and other marginalized groups. Her work bridges academic research, policy advocacy, and community engagement to drive meaningful change. Her research and policy-driven initiatives strive to mitigate the health impacts of violence, discrimination, and inequality, advocate for legal protection and systemic change to safeguard vulnerable populations, support evidence-based solutions that promote gender equality, social justice, and global health equity. Monica Malta is a coordinator of the Children and Youth Evangelization groups at Allan Kardec Spiritist Center of London, Ontario. Also a member of the Brazilian and USA Spiritist Medical Association. Monica's theme is the benefits of spiritual development for children and youth. Just so you guys know, this lecture will be in English, okay? And let's all welcome Monica, please.
Botando online, né? Oh. Oh, there you go. Well, there was a lot of presentations for myself, but I'm actually just an educator for kids and teens. I think that's the main goal in, yeah? You cannot hear me? Now, can you? Okay, so yeah, there was a big description of what I do, but I'm mostly an educator for kids and youth, but most of all to myself. So hopefully we're gonna have a good time together. We started with our choir, and I do believe that, thank you. Yeah, I'm petite. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. I was telling before I started, there is no pressure at all. Yesterday we had a training with Geraldo telling us how to speak in public, avoiding discriminating in public. So yeah, let's see if I can accomplish it. Okay, so let's start. So why spirituality is so important for kids, for teens, especially nowadays. But before we start with all the science, with all the information in Spiritism and in academic, I want to invite you all to do a little bit of an exercise with me, if you feel comfortable with. If you could close your eyes and remember yourself as a kid. When you're 5, 6, 7, try to remember all the things that bring you back to when you were a little kid. Maybe it's the voice of your mom. Maybe it's a little dog that you have. Maybe it's a place that you could call home back then. Maybe it's a hiding spot that you love it to go. Or all those treasures that you had in your pockets. A little pebble here, a stick, something that make you remember you as a little kid. And as hopefully you go there and recall yourself at age 5, 6, look into this kid and remember all the challenges and all the victories that this kid is going to face during all this journey that brings you here. All the challenges, all the pain, all the love, and everything in between. So now, let's come back to where we are now. I welcome you all as grown-ups, but also as the kid that you have inside. And as we connect with our kid, I invite you to scan this QR code and let's see if we can come up with a beautiful word cloud. Let me open here, forgot my glasses. There you go. Okay, so you're asked to plug in one word of your own self. One single word or two that you'd like to tell this little kid that you left behind, age 5, age 6, something that you'd like to whisper in their ear. I don't know if can we open the word. If you click in there, we might have a link. See if you, yeah. Let's see where we are as if we have the, yeah, there you go. So let's see what we have. We have joy, mostly. We have love, we have belief, creativity, laughter, friends, hope, explorer, laughter, be yourself, energy, everything will be okay. You know all the journey ahead of this little kid, and you know everything they're gonna face up to today, up to this Saturday here in Toronto. Calm, believe in yourself, know you can do it. And that's why we are Spiritist educators, because we want whispers in every one of those kids that come every week with us to tell them, believe in yourself, you can do it. Whatever is wrong, you can overcome it. And we are here for you every single day. And that's the power of spirituality in general, not only Spiritism, to embrace every single kid. Okay, can we go back to the presentation? Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm gonna share later on the PDF so we all can take a look in what we would like to whisper to all little kids. So you're passing or is it me? Oh, it's me. Really? Oh, yeah. Yes, I have the clicker in my hand. Okay, my friends, now let's go back to our amazing Allan Kardec. What does he tells us about childhood? Let's see if I can open again. I just forgot my glasses. Oh, no, I mean, it's here. I did not forget it. Okay. Oh, dear friends, yeah, I'm a speech educator, but I'm getting old as well. Anyways, let's go. So what does Kardec tell us? What's the point of becoming a kid? Experiencing childhood over and over again every single time that we are reborn. Is it? Oh gee, I'm going back. There you go. And then he tells us the purpose of incarnation is the improvement of the spirit. And childhood makes the spirit more open to impressions it receives. it may contribute to its advancement, towards which all those responsible for the child's education and training must contribute. So it's a time, and a brief, very brief moment in time when every single kid is more open to moral education, to spiritual education, to change a little bit the ways here and there and become a better human. And that's the joy of it. And as we go into this speech, we're going to see that not only the high spirits tell us this, also science is finally catching back and telling us exactly the same thing. Is it? Oh. Okay. So why? Why is it childhood so important? Oh. Childhood is a crucial moment for moral growth, for spiritual growth, because that's when the child is more open to new beginnings, to a better moral, to more spiritual values. They are more open to teachings. And that's the joy of spiritual education. And research shows us, and we're going to see a few examples, that all those early experiences, they influence not only the behavior, but also the brain development of every single kid. So it's a moment where a kid can learn new things or can start in the wrong direction if we are not careful enough. And many studies show that spirituality in general, being connected with a greater good, is a buffer that helps every single kid to live healthier and down the road to be even more healthy with low levels of cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, cancer, mental health problems, etc., drug addiction, and so much more. And that's just one of the books I'm going to show you today. This is a book published by Professor Lisa Miller from Columbia University. And she shows on this study with thousands of adolescents that youth with a regular spiritual practice, not only spiritism, but any spiritual practice, they are 40% less likely to use drugs or alcohol. They are 60% less likely to experience depression. They are 80% less likely to engage in risky sexual behavior. So a spiritual practice is not only good for our soul, it's also good for our mind and our body. Let's keep going. Now I'm going to share a little story before we go into more science. When I was a little kid, I was very shy and very lonely. I tend to be just by myself. I didn't like to engage with other kids. I just felt that I didn't connect very well. I had all those big questions in my mind by the age 5, 6. I want to know what's going to happen when I die. Am I going to disappear? What's going to happen if my dad or my granny dies? I had all those very suffering questions, and all those other kids, you will look at me and say, well, you're really odd. You should just be playing, soccer with us or jumping rope. Why are you suffering because one day you're gonna die and disappear? Forget about it, you know? And my parents started to suffering as well. Oh my God, what are we gonna do with this kid? With all those odd questions. We don't know what to do with her. And then they took me to all sort of specialists, psychiatry, neurologists, you name it. They run all questionnaires, all exams, everything. And one day, a psychiatrist told my mom and dad, you know what? Clinically, there is nothing wrong with this kid. She's perfectly normal. The brain is normal. She's just an odd kid. And that label stuck with me in a way that I was not expecting by the age 6 or 7. I was like, well, I'm odd. And odd means that I'm gonna be alone. Maybe I'm gonna be an old lady with just cats. Maybe I'll never fall in love because I'm odd, you know, and odd doesn't have something else. It's a left number. And whenever some kid in the school will come close to me and ask me, you wanna play basketball, soccer, whatever, I'll say, no, I'm just an odd kid. I don't want. And that made me get even closer and close to myself, feeling lonely with all those questions and knowing, you know what, I'm just odd. That's why I have all those crazy questions. Am I gonna disappear? What's gonna happen if my mom dies? She's gonna just vanish in the void, my granny. And I was becoming very sad, depressed, anxious. One day my granny came to my house and she was worried with me as well. So then she told my parents, can I take this kid to our praying group? And then mom and dad, they were like, please, just one Sunday afternoon without all those suffering questions over and over again. Yes, just go ahead, take her. And I was like, well, one afternoon with old grannies praying, that's what it is for me. I'm odd. Oh, what can I do? And then on I went. And to my surprise, this praying group was actually a spiritist center. And there are many kids in there. They're playing, they're learning by drawing, by talking with each other. Back then I had a invisible friend. And when we were driving bus going to this praying group, my granny asked me, tell me about your friend. And then I told her, I don't have any friend, Granny, I'm just odd. And then Granny asked it again, no, tell me about your friends, the one with the blue t-shirt. And I was in shock because I had this invisible friend that was always hanging out with me, my only friend with the blue t-shirt. And then she said, right, sitting here in the bus with you. And I was like, oh my God, you know what? I'm not odd. Granny can see it as well. So that means two. So I'm even, you know? And when I went to this house, there were many kids with invisible friends as well. And kids telling the same things with the same worries. Am I going to disappear in the wild? What's going to happen? And then that's how Spiritism, in my reality, saved me from all this anguish and this suffering. And that's just one example of how spirituality in general can save someone that might be a medium and didn't know, and someone who might be neurodivergent and we didn't know back then. So let's go to the science now. There are many, many odd kids out there, just like me. Probably we have a lot of odd kids in here, and together we are not odd anymore, we're even, for sure. So why spirituality matters today? Let's take a look on the green scenario that we have as a community with all those kids that are being born in this moment of regeneration of the planet. The World Health Organization tells us a very green scenario. 1 in 7 adolescents is right now living with a mental health disorder, mostly anxiety, depression. Behavioral disorders such as ADHD are growing, leading causes of disability among those young. Suicide is the #3 leading cause of death among kids aged 15 to 29 all over the world. So we have a new generation that is suffering really hard in their mental health. Let's see more sad data. According to the CDC, this scenario is rising very fast, especially after the pandemic. We have many kids in need of mental health support and not enough mental health professionals available. It is increasing even in early ages. So if you take a look in this graphic, you're gonna see how high are the levels of anxiety among little kids aged 3 to 5. Can you imagine this? When we were kids, we might be suffering, but not in this level. Depression, behavioral disorders such as ADHD, those are all very high levels. Anxiety is over 15% among the adolescents, above 10% among kids as young as 6. So we have a new generation that is actually suffering from their mental health. And of course, COVID didn't help in this scenario. Depression is higher than it was before COVID. Anxiety is also higher. So that's the green scenario for science. But then comes the question for us spiritists. How can having spirituality in general, not only being a spiritist, impact this generation of kids and youth in this scenario, in this environment? When we have kids practicing some kind of spirituality activity, they develop more resilience, they make stronger connection with the community, they are able to have more coping mechanisms when something that happens in their life, say the parents get a divorce, so they have a supportive systems that can buffer their mental health and their behaviors in general. Spirituality is shown by scientists to be a source of resilience in a world where we have so many kids facing anxiety, depression, suicidality, ADHD. After the pandemic, we know that those engaged in spirituality, they have a supportive systems that kids not engaged in a group that provides spirituality and spiritual teachings do not have. There are many studies that show when a kid get together with a group for the greater good, to build a new garden in the community, to visit a hospital, to go to an orphanage, to go to a retirement center, they feel a sense of purpose. They have a meaning that goes beyond themselves. They can inspire others just by laughing, just by hugging an elder living alone in a retirement center. And that buffer stay with them way beyond the visit. And finally, you're gonna see a few examples. Science is showing that the spiritual practice nurtures not only the individual, but the collective group in a way that I belong to a specific group. And with this group, I make a difference in my community, in this retirement center, in this orphanage, by donating food, by doing something that goes way beyond myself. And of course, science always comes a little bit behind from spiritism. Kardec told us, we saw in the question in the beginning of the lecture, Kardec is telling us, the high spirits are telling us that childhood is a flexible moment in time where we can improve the moral, the behaviors, the knowledge, the path ahead for this little kid. Emmanuel also says the same. Emmanuel tells us beautifully that the child's heart is a fertile soil where we should plant seeds of love, not kindness, virtues. And we need to tend to all those perky seeds to pluck it before they go deep in the ground and they spread their roots in a way that we cannot pluck them anymore. So it's a very, very fragile moment. And both Kardec and Emmanuel reminds us that in this post-pandemic moment where we have so many kids suffering with anxiety, depression, suicidality, spirituality brings a core supportive systems that can help all those kids in suffering to find a new path or to find a new meaning in their lives with the moral education or with the spiritual education. Okay, let's keep going. I don't know if someone is keeping track of time. I don't want to take time from other speakers, but let's go. The science of spirituality. This is a growing field, my friends. It's not just one odd professor studying this. I can show over and over again publications from Columbia University, from Yale, from Harvard, from U of T, the University of Toronto, from my own university, York University, from Western University. Wherever you look, there's someone studying how spirituality influences little kids, big kids, adolescents to become better humans. There are even books published by Columbia University about this. So science is finally catching up. This is a study from Harvard University, the School of Public Health, and there are many, many others. So spirituality is no longer seen as something that is too fluid for us science to measure, something that is not worth a scientific knowledge and study. It is a field with a lot of support, with a lot of money going into researching in spirituality and how this can influence the lives of many people, and in my case, children and adolescents. Okay, spirituality, resilience, and mental health. This is kind of crystal clear, but I wanted to show that we do have studies, many, many studies showing this. This is a study conducted in 11 different countries, and they evaluated the kids who were put into foster care if they were engaged in some kind of spirituality group. They had more resilience, they were better off in their mental health, they faced better adversity. This is another study with kids from Indonesia in a place affected by flood. And those who had a strong spiritual group, they were more resilient when they lost everything. And those kids who were not engaged in any spiritual group, they felt like life is gone. Everything is gone. There's nothing else out there for me. This is yet another group with kids from the US in foster care and those who were engaged in some kind of spiritual belief, spiritual practice. They were way more resilient towards addiction, anxiety, depression. Another one, a PhD thesis in clinical psychology, telling us the kids living in foster groups, they were more resilient. They down the road and they followed those kids for a while. They had higher levels of resilience. They were better off in their anxiety levels, depression, etc. So science is finally catching up what we saw in the Spiritist book 200 years ago, even more. So we show that spirituality is not only comfort, it is a powerful, powerful resource for kids, for adolescents, to face all this reality of high levels of anxiety, depression, and nowadays world where everything is a click away, they're all on social media and they are suffering in their mental health. If they are in a group that supports them, that guides them morally, spiritually, they are better off to face what is ahead. Okay. A little bit more now about adolescents. This is a study with 355 Black and brown adolescents, those engaged in spiritual groups, they were better in the markers of mental health, depression, anxiety. They had more coping skills to face the challenges of being in foster homes. This is all science. This is not written by Kardec or Emmanuel or John de Angelis. This is science. This is another study with kids telling us that if they were engaged in a higher spiritual group, feeling connected, feeling supported, they felt that even in the hardship when the parents got divorced or when they lost their homes or someone posted something on social media, they felt very embarrassed. They had a supportive system. You got this. This is going to pass. It's not only about this. This is one life, and there are many others. So they had a supportive system telling them it's going to be okay. It's going to pass. And research shows that little kids also benefit of this, but not by learning what Kardec said in the question number 1, 2, 3, but by playing, by drawing, by jumping rope, and then connecting with each other. And through play, they learn the moral laws, the spiritual laws. They learn a little bit more in a different way. By going to nature, by doing something to their community, by visiting a hospital, a foster home, retirement center. And that's, again, that's science. Those are papers published in scientific journals. And there are many of those talking about early childhood education and how spirituality helped those kids aged 2, 3, 4 to be better off when they are 10, 12, 15, 30. So spirituality helps. Science is telling us. We didn't even start looking into what Emmanuel or John de Angelis tells us. And how is that? The first thing is resilience. Those kids feel more resilient towards any trauma, any adversity, because they have hope. And there is something out there way beyond this post that someone put it on Instagram or TikTok about me. There's way more than just this specific terrible moment in my life. The other thing is, by being connected to a group, they foster each other, they support each other. And when someone is feeling a little bit more anxious or a little bit more sad, or is passing through a hardship in time, they have the supportive system. And that's why it's so important, not only the children education, but also the youth groups, the buffer to foster them. You got this. This is gonna pass. And little kids, they learn not by memorizing a question and answer or something. They learn by walking in nature and talking about animals and plants, or by drawing with chalk or something else where we can bring all the play with the spiritual and the moral guidance. By learning to be grateful for whatever they have, by going into foster home and knowing that there are kids out there that are not as fortunate as they are. And spirituality is universal. We're not talking about spiritism just, we're talking about spirituality in general. We see this in many studies over and over again, not only about those connected with spiritism, but those connected with Catholicism, Christianism, Buddhism, you name it. If they have a supportive system that tells them, you got this, and there is something beyond that, they're gonna do better than kids that are out without any of those supportive systems. So now I want to pause just for a few minutes and ask you all to connect with each other and think about your childhood. Did you have any spiritual practice? Did you pray by the end of the day? Did you had any gratitude practice? Did your parents tell you any stories to tell you what's right, what is wrong? You did any nature walk, singing, something that could connect you with a higher power. So let's talk to whoever is on your side. What did you do? How did you connect? We're gonna have 5 minutes and then we come back. How did you connect with high? Caiu. Tá muito. Desculpa.
Foi não, será que dá pra pôr nota? Pensa que não. Aí tu vira, não, vira pro outro lado, né? Pra não ficar.
Assim?
É.
Bote aí. Será que eu tiro para não ficar? Cheque, cheque, cheque.
Não. Coloca ali.
É. Ok. Okay. Okay, dear friends. Okay, dear friends, let's come back. So chances are that some of you had kind of a few practices that you used to do. So you prayed with your parents, you walked in nature to calm yourself, you connected with a high spirit or spirituality in your way. Maybe a few of you did not engage in this kind of reality back then, but now we know this is highly important. So we need to go back home and think about our kids, our grandkids, the kids we connect. If we are teachers, the kids that you teach, the kids in the neighborhood, the kids in your building. So all those kids, sometimes they just need a hug or a smile. They don't need a lot. They just need to, wow, I'm not alone and I'm not going to the void. There's something out there. There is a funny girl with pink hair that smiles at me every day. And I feel okay because of this. Okay? Let's keep moving on. I don't know how much time I have. But we are, okay, now we go to what the high spirits are telling us. Let's see if we have science and spirituality telling the same, or if we are not getting it right as scientists yet. We're going to start, of course, with Allan Kardec. So Kardec, in many books, emphasizes over and over again the childhood is a very, very important moment for moral learning, for spiritual learning. And he also highlights the key responsibility of parents, of caregivers, of teachers. In the speeches book we saw before, question 385, childhood also has another purpose. Spirits use the physical life to improve themselves. The weakness of youth renders them more flexible and open to the advice of those who experience should aid their progress. This is how bad predispositions are repressed and focused characters are gradually reformed. So that's a key moment that we need to pay close attention. All this kid is showing a little bit of selfness or too much pride or something else that I could intervene early on and teach them how to do a little bit better here and there. Let's take a look on the Gospel according to Spiritism. There are many passages. I just selected one. Chapter 14. Remember the God who asked every mother and every father, what have you done with the child which was entrusted to you? If through any fault of yours it has remained backwards, then as a punishment you have to watch it amongst the suffering spirits, when it depends upon you to help it towards happiness. So for all those who are parents, we have a deep, deep responsibility towards those kids. And to all those who are not parents, chances are you have a kid that you connect a little bit more, so you can also help with the work of God. Okay, let's take a look on Leon Denis with the beautiful way he writes and teaches us. Leon Denis described childhood as the dawn of a new existence. Something new is coming. And there is a lot of potential in this new journey, but we need to be very careful. And after death, Leon Denis tells us that childhood is the gentle dawn of the spirit, when past shadows are softened and the soul is ready to receive light. So there you go. Speech education is highly important in this moment. Even if they are just drawing and painting, they are also learning moral laws. He also tells us that art and beauty awaken in the child the memory of celestial harmony. We all have it inside us and we know it. We are doomed to be perfect someday, and those kids have it in there. We just need to elevate and to contribute to their journey. Let's take a look on Joanna de Angelis. Joanna warns against prioritizing material success over moral education, sending the kids to many after-school activities. So they go to music and ballet dances and kung fu and something else. They always have something. They are very busy, but they do not have time to the moral education, to the spiritual education. So then something core is missing for those kids. Let's take a look on the family constellation. The family is the school of soul. Look at our responsibility. We are a school of soul. In it, the child receives not only bread for the body, but nourishment for the spirit. 2 examples. I cannot just tell my kids to do this because this is the right thing. I need to show them that I am someone who forgives, someone that donates my time to those in need, and that's how I'm going to teach them. Empty words don't teach anything. Joanna also tells us that without inner meaning and values, emotional life becomes very fragile, as we saw in the science behind it. If we do not have the moral values, the spiritual support, all little or big problems are going to become something that they're going to stop. They might feel depressed, anxious, they might not be able to overcome it. And they could turn into addiction, to suicidality, self-harm, etc., as we've seen today. Let's finish with Emmanuel. Emmanuel highlights again family as a school of the soul, emphasizing the role that a family has in the moral development of each child that we are responsible for. In our daily bread, the home is the first classroom of the spirit. In small lessons, patience, forgiveness, service, the soul is learning the gospel. Even if we are not reading the gospel according to Spiritism, we are showing that I forgive, that I have patience, that I engage in service, that I'm doing charity. Emmanuel also tells us that parents are the guardian of immortal souls, and we should plant seeds of kindness, seeds of understanding, showing every single day how to do it in a way that they're gonna blossom virtues and they're gonna endure the hardship that we all know we're gonna face in life. Okay. I'm a little bit lost in time. I don't know how much time I have. And we saw this before, no? So we saw this, 10 minutes, okay. So spirituality for kids, 10 minutes, okay. 5 minutes, okay. Spirituality gives kids a buffer when they face adversity. And resilience is also in the spiritual teachings of Kardec, Joana de Angelis, Emmanuel, Leon Denis, and many, many others. So science and spiritism, they are walking hand by hand, finally. We're catching up. It took a while, but we're catching up. Is it going? And I wanna leave you with this technique. It's called stop. Whenever a kid, or even yourself, you're facing a struggle, a problem that feels way too big to solve. Sometimes little kids, they get frustrated very easily. So we tend to use the stop technique. Let's stop for a moment. S, stop. T, take 3 deep breaths. And as you finish those 3 breaths, look at your body. How are you feeling now? You're frustrated, but how are you feeling now? Imagine that all your body is smiling, your hands, your head, your feet. And now that you're always smiling, proceed, but proceed slowly, naturally. And that's something very simple that we can use with little kids, with big kids, with ourselves. Whenever something seems too big, let's pause and stop and try to hear our inner voice, our guides. I think, yeah. So just a little bit more, almost done. So we are role models for those kids. We are the strongest influence on child spirituality, not only to take them to the spiritual center and go to the spiritist education, but to keep moving on, showing them what to do. They are not listening, actually. They are looking what you do and how you do. So even if you do the gospel at home, but you don't practice it on a daily basis, the teachings are just empty. Educators add to this foundation work. Families are school, as Emmanuel told us. Parents are guardians of immortal souls. Kardec tells us the families are the first and most important school of moral education. Joana de Angelis tells us that children need moral nourishment as much as food, as much as education. And we can notice this. You can take a kid to a gratitude circle. You can, Thanksgiving is almost here, so we can all put on a few leaves on a gratitude tree. What are you thankful for after this day? You can invite a kid for family praying. You can pray at night. If you don't, you should do. Engage in volunteer together. Don't just leave the kid for their speeches education. Go together and show them that you also want to be part of it. Use storytelling if you can. Yeah, we don't have time for this. Okay. So let's just recap. Science is showing that spirituality builds resilience, health, joy. It impacts not only the mental health, but also the levels of cardiovascular diseases. The impact of mental health goes way beyond. And Spiritism tells us that childhood is a sacred window to plant eternal virtues. So together, science and Spiritism, they come to the same truth. When we nurture spirituality on those little kids, on adolescents, we're shaping a better world. They're gonna take the torch towards a world of regeneration. And it's our responsibility to make sure that they have those seeds very well planted. So I would invite you to think again about the word that you put in there for your little inner kid. And choose one little word from the cloud. Love, patience, courage, something else. Imagine that you're planting this in the kid that you have, that you take care of, if you're a parent, or the kids that you see on a daily basis. Every little word that we put in the word cloud can become a seed for tomorrow for all those kids. You got this. Everything's gonna end. You have supportive system, you have love, I hear you. Let's finish. We can be gardeners for any kid that we have in our lives today. We can show them how to be kind, how to be respectful, how to actually use the moral laws that we heard over and over again in the Spiritist Center on a daily basis, and science agrees. Being kind, being grateful, engage in service not only helps myself, it helps my community and makes me feel that there is something out there and I am part of something bigger than myself. And as you sat on your seat, you saw a little card that we made in our Spiritist Center. The spiritual educators, we all wrote a few notes for you all to take home, to meditate, to think about it. So be gardeners of the new generation. And that's all I had. Thank you.